recommendation. We have a lot of great information tonight for you, so thank you for bearing with us. As some people were making their way in, we wanted to make sure we got as many people in that wanted to hear the presentation as possible without starting. So tonight what you're going to hear is we have our PHSC representative, so we're going to get some great information with that. And then our school counselors, Ms. Sowers and Ms. Roberts, are going to give you information about advanced placement and dual enrollment opportunities on campus. So again, we appreciate you guys coming, and I'm going to go ahead and hand it over so that you guys can get the information you need for. So thank you.
All right, can everybody hear me? Okay, my name is Jan Rodriguez. I'm the Assistant Dean of Student Affairs over at PHSC. I work out of the East Campus, which is in Dade City. You guys are probably pretty equidistant between the East Campus and the Porter Campus, which is in Wesley Chapel. It took me, I think it was about 11 miles to get here from the East Campus, about 17 minutes, and I think it'd probably be about the same to try to get to the Porter Campus. So as your students start thinking about taking the dual enrollment classes, they really might want to look at both of those campuses, although dual enrollment students can really go anywhere they want. They can go to any of the campuses. We have 5 campuses, plus we have the Performing Arts Center, which is also located in Wesley Chapel. I was talking to some of the students who've been there before, so that's a really neat opportunity also. So let me tell you a little bit about dual enrollment. All right, what is dual enrollment? Dual enrollment is the opportunity for qualified high school students to take college-level classes. So what that means is when you're dually enrolled, you are earning credit for high school at the same time as college. So you're taking your college courses. Our hope will be, as I was speaking to the school counselors, the hope would be is that by the fall, we'll be able to offer English comp here at the school, and then possibly college algebra here at the school. That will be dependent on making sure that we have qualified teachers who meet PHSC's requirements for college level work. But otherwise, your students would be able to take classes either on our campuses or online or remotely. So why should students do dual enrollment? Of course, you earn college credit. All tuition and books are paid for, so you don't have to buy anything, which is really a nice benefit. And let me tell you, some of those books are expensive. So that really does help because if your students are interested in enrollment and they can start getting some college credit, they can really save you some money down the road. The books cost $180 a piece. There's a variety of subjects. Students pretty much have access to any of the general education courses in English, math, science, social studies, social behavioral sciences, humanities. They can even take some technical classes. And one of the things that might be really interesting for the students who are currently in the welding program, we have a welding program at PHSC at the East Campus that students who are dually enrolled can enroll in, and they can get their certification by the time they graduate high school. You'll have a lot of challenging material, and then also an adult level learning environment. So it's a really great opportunity for young people to get acclimated to the college environment while still being somewhat protected before they go to university. So, are there any dangers? Yes, these are things that you need to really be aware of. The BP course grades will affect your high school GPA. So, if you have an A, if your student is an honor student, they get a lot of A's in high school, and then they go on to college and they get a C, that C will transfer into their high school, and that will affect their GPA. Okay? Also, DP courses are part of your permanent college transcript. So students need to be aware this is not something where you just try it and see how it goes. When you then go on to apply to a four-year university, this transcript goes with you there. And then good or bad, these grades, they follow you for the rest of your life. So college level courses. But when we say up there attendance is necessary, if you want to pass your courses, you need to be in classes. So we're not going to be following you around. Professors will not track you down if you missed a day or if you missed your work. College students are expected to manage your time and manage your coursework. And that means that when you're a dual enrollment student, if you're 15 years old or 14 years old, if you choose to do dual enrollment, we will treat you like a college student. And you will be expected to take care of yourself. Now, as a parent, I will tell you guys, parents, your students' grades will be on their Canvas page, either on the internet, on their phone, on their laptop, on their computer. As a parent, I will ask my student to pull up their grades periodically and say, show me your grades at the HSC. And you can look at that on a weekly basis. That would be my encouragement to you. If your students are trying this for the first time, just follow up with them and ask to see the grades, make sure they're turning in their work, make sure that they're getting the help that they need. And I'll get into some of the resources that are available to all of the DHS students, whether they're dual enrollment or full college. So where can they take their classes? They can do face-to-face courses on the DHS campuses. This is for all students that are either sophomore, junior, or senior. Freshmen must only take their classes here at the high school. You could also, well, and there you see, at the high school is another availability that would be for all HSC dual enrollment students. You can do remote classes or online classes. Now, what we mean by that, remote is when you meet with your teacher at a specified time every week. So, Wednesdays from 3 to 4:15. The student must be on their remote Zoom and meeting with their teacher, getting a lecture, participating in discussions, things like that. Online courses are completely online. That means that you might watch like videos or something like that at lectures, but you're not meeting with your class at a specified time. So the online courses tend to work well for students who are either working, who have obligations here in the high school, things like that, where it's hard to fit their HSC courses into a set schedule. So there's a lot of different options available for whatever fits the needs of the student. So, are you ready for this program? Does this fit for you? You must be committed to extra study time. What we tell college students, this is on average, for every hour that you are in course, and of course you should be planning about 2 hours of study time. So if you're taking a 3-credit course, along with 3 hours of coursework time, you should also be doing 6 hours of study time. Okay? So that's what our recommendation is. Now, if you struggle with a particular class, like let's say you start doing general chemistry and qualitative analysis, it might be that you have to put in 3 extra hours for an hour class, or 4 extra hours. Once you're in class, you need to do what you need to do to pass it. So you just have to be ready for the fact that if this is a really rigorous course, you will need to put in the work to pass it and do it successfully. You must have a 3.0 GPA, that's unweighted, so that's a B average. And then talk to your guidance counselor about your goals, your course selection, and your expectations. Your enrollment students complete the AA program. The AA program is what we can call a transfer program. It's a 2+2. You get 2 years in your associate's degree, and then you go on to 2 additional years of your bachelor's degree. So all PHSC students are going to be in dual enrollment are enrolled in the AA program. The green sheet that was available shows you what the AA courses are that you will be taking. Now, some of them are optional, and then some of them are set. So, like, if you're working on your AA, you're going to be doing English, Comp 1 English English Comp 2 and public speaking. You're going to have to take 2 math courses. You're going to have to take 6 credits of science. You're going to do 6 credits of social behavioral sciences like psychology, sociology, macroeconomics, federal government, things like that. You also have to have 6 credits of humanities. That's going to be arts, philosophies, ethics, things like that. You have to have micro applications, which is Microsoft Office. So you're going to be doing Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Access, which I always recommend students do that relatively early because if you master that, it's going to help you for the rest of your program. And then you've got your electives. You're going to have 24 credits of electives. And that's where you can really get specific into what really excites you, what you're passionate about. So if you're planning on going on to USF to study microbiology, chances are you don't want to do like Shakespearean literature or electives. You're going to want to be doing biology 1, biology 2. You're going to want to be taking chemistry, some of the other sciences. You're going to need some maths, things like that. So if you have an idea of what you want to do after high school, do a little research on what the prerequisites are that they're looking for. Because then you can start knocking off those prerequisites while you're still in high school doing your program. Okay, we're going to need your test scores. So along with that 3.0 GPA, you also must have test scores that show that you are ready for college level work. You can do that either through the ACT, the SAT, or the PERT. And I think you probably have this also, I think. So this is the test score chart that shows what you need. If you do not have those tests completed, you can either sign up for the ACT or the SAT through the College Board, or you can take the PERT test at HSC. And I know that your school is also working on getting the PERT test set up here at the school so that interested students will be able to take it and then get their scores to see if they're eligible for taking your enrollment. So with the test scores, for reading, on the PERT, you're going to be 106. These are just kind of arbitrary numbers that won't mean anything to you. 106, writing is 103. Math, for intermediate algebra, which is considered an elective at college, you need at least a 114. You get a college algebra, you need at least a 123. I used to work in the testing center. What I would say to the new enrollment students, you pretty much will need to have completed algebra 2 in order to get that 123. Now, if you're really good in math, you might be able to do well in that. So what I would say to you, if you don't do super well in math, but you've only taken geometry, don't let that defeat you or devastate you. You're probably right where you need to be. So typically, algebra 2 is kind of like a cutoff that you want to be successful in order to be ready for college level work. All right, so the scores can't be more than 2 years old. Chances are that you guys are going to have more than 2 years old after that. And we need original test scores. But if you take the test with PHSC or with your school, that's not a problem either. All right, so these are the steps to complete the online dual enrollment registration. And I love this because I brought the blue sheet that has all of the steps for you, and your school counselors brought the white sheet that has all of the steps for you. So if you see, you have 2 forms that say steps to complete the dual enrollment registration process, and you're wondering, what's the difference between the 2? There is no difference, because we were breaking things alike that we all wanted you to have this, so we both brought it. So that just gives you the steps that you'll be following when you do the process. You don't really need to know about drops and withdrawals. I'll just cover that quickly. A drop is something, actually, you do need to know this. Okay, a drop is something when you get in the class, you go to the first 1 or 2 classes during the first week, it only applies during the first week of classes, and you decide, okay, this ain't for me, I do not want to do this class. So you can put in a request to drop that course. You need to let your guidance counselors know if you drop a course, because if they have it on their degree audit saying that that English course is going to meet your 10th grade English requirement or your 11th grade English requirement, they need to know if you drop a course, because otherwise, now you're not on track to graduate high school. The same with the withdrawal. The withdrawal is, you can be up to about 3/4 of the way through the semester. If you know you are not going to pass that course, there is a set deadline that by that date you must withdraw from the course. And then you get a W on your transcript. The W will be there forever. It will show you attempted the course and you weren't successful in it and you withdrew. Again, you must let your guidance counselors know if you drop or withdraw, because you just have to make sure that you're still on track to graduate from high school. And those drop-out dates and the withdrawal dates, there is no negotiation with those. You can't show up 2 days into the second week and say, but I really want to drop it. At that point, it becomes a withdrawal. And then after the withdrawal date, it becomes an F if you don't finish the course. So just keep that in mind. Those are hard deadlines. So this was what I talked about a little bit earlier, the 2+2. So 2 years of PHSC. You add that to 2 years of 4-year university or at PHSC, and then you get your bachelor's degree. All right, civic literacy. You guys are probably hearing about that in the high school, because I know that the high school has a civic literacy requirement. The college also now has a civic literacy requirement as part of Florida legislation. All that tiny little writing up there basically says that right now, for students who are entering college, they must take a course that involves either American History 2 or federal government. You must take one of those courses in college, and you must pass the Florida Civic Literacy exam. Now, I believe that when you finish high school, you're going to be taking the Florida Civic Literacy exam. You don't have to pass it to graduate from high school. What I would encourage you is, because you're going to be taking American history and you're going to be taking federal government, do your best on that test. Because if you pass it in high school, it counts for college. It's the same test. So when you take that test, do your best. You just have to get a 60 on it. And then you get credit, and then you don't have to take it again in college. You still have to take the course in college, but you don't have to take the test. Okay? So you can look up Florida Civic Literacy. Read all of the tiny little caveats and things like that. But that's basically what the gist of it is. Now, if you take AP, either American History or federal government, and you pass the AP test, and let me see right here. U.S. government, if you get at least a 3 on the AP test, that counts as your Florida Civic Literacy exam. And then for U.S. history, that one, you need to get a 4 on the AP test. So your counselor is going to be talking about AP, and this is an area where the AP might affect another graduation requirement. So if you pass that test, government with a 3, U.S. history with a 4, not only do you get the college credit for either history or government, but you also get that test taken care of too. Will the courses transfer? The Florida public universities, they will usually transfer. Now, one of the things you have to keep in mind, like I mentioned earlier, if you apply to biomedical engineering, and all of your electives are psychology, ethics, pickleball, things like that, those will not transfer. So that's where I encourage you to find out what prerequisites our sciences, those should all transfer. Out-of-state universities and private colleges, it's up to those places. They may or may not take them. But typically, if you earn your AA degree and then try to transfer, they will typically take more than if you just transfer with a couple classes. So, can I find career guidance and tutoring services? Yes. All PHSC students have free tutoring available to them through the PHSC Academic Success Centers. There's Academic Success Centers on all of the campuses, and they hire peer tutors as well as professional tutors. Each one has an academic support specialist, it's a full-time tutor. You can get help either remotely or face-to-face, and you can schedule your appointments through online registration. And typically when you get your syllabus, you're going to see how to make tutoring. Actually, right there in Canvas. You guys use Canvas here? Okay, great. So on the left menu of Canvas, where there's typically like your grades, your modules, and things like that, one of the things at PHSC says ASC free tutoring. You click on that, and it takes you right to the tutoring website. So you can also get help with study skills, time management, test-taking strategies. We have one woman who really helps students learn how to interact with their textbook. The students don't know how to read a textbook. So she helps them with that. How do you read your textbook and get the most material out of it that you can? So we've got some really great resources to help our students. And then also we have our Career Center, helping you find a career path, helping you find an internship, learning how to write a resume, preparing for interviews. And if you're on campuses, or again as a student, you're going to have access to the Zoom seminars, meetings, student government, student life leadership. You can participate in all those. And if you're a great student and you're, let's say, mature and you have good communication skills, you can even work as a tutor at PHSC. When I worked at the Academic Success Center, I was coordinator there for 7 years. I hired a lot of dual enrollment students as tutors, and it was a part-time job for the dual enrollment students. So that's something to keep in mind also. You can really get actively involved at campuses if you choose to. Are there any questions? I know that's a lot of information. Our website has a lot of information. You'll see the links there that you can click on and you'll look at some of the DE information. Yes? That's a really good question. So you mean like if you take biology, dual enrollment, and you fail? Okay, great question. That is a really good question. When you are a dual enrollment student, if you fail your class, you are not allowed to take it again as a dual enrollment student. However, once you become a full-time college student, I would highly encourage you to take it again. So basically what it is, the school system will pay for it a second time, but once you become a student, I would highly advise you to take that because and then you've got a year and a half, and then you retake it and get an A or a B, that will help your GPA to pop up. So that's another thing you guys need to know. You guys take D's here in doing a D for credit?
For credit, not for GPA.
Okay. In college, you do not get credit for a D. Okay? So if you take a dual enrollment class and you get a D, let's say you take English Comp 1, you get a D in the class, you do not get college credit for it. It sounds like you're going to get high school credit. It will affect your GPA negatively. This is going to be a 1-point GPA. So it'll bring your GPA down. But in college, you do not get credit for it. So be aware of that. It's a big difference between high school and college. You have to have a C or higher to get college credit. Yes?
Yeah, my son's a sophomore. He
question. It is feasible, but you'll have to really work, because basically what you'll be doing is you'll be trying to complete the degree in 2 years, which is a 2-year degree if you're going full-time. What that would mean is you need to be taking 5 classes per semester for the fall and spring. Or if you did like 4 and 4, and then 2 over the summer. So it is possible that you would need a full, to do it that way, you need a fall, spring, summer, fall, spring, summer to get it done. Yes?
Do you know if, the early students would be able to, take the bird at their, area high school?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Oh, wait, no, not the high schools.
okay,
You can take it to college.
okay.
So once you get your application in, see, I don't think you can go to high schools because they do it during the day. Now, the ACT and the SAT, they sign up for after school weekends, things like that.
You know, I don't know if they offer birds after school.
Yeah,
But
okay.
then several different times they offer it throughout the year.
That is a great question. You could certainly contact that school and find out about it as a non-student. Now, you can take the PERT at any PHSC testing center. So all the campuses other than the IPAC, the Instructional Performance Center, they all have a testing center where students can take their PERT test. Once you get your application in, basically all we need is to have a student ID number that we can attach to the test, and then you're welcome to take the test. So you can schedule that through the academic success centers. Yes?
Is there a practice test that you can do practice?
What you can do, good question, is there a practice test for the PERT? You can Google PERT study guide, PERT study guide, and there are some study guides online that will prepare you. Yeah, that's what I would do. And it'll be basically on the PERT, you're doing reading, writing, and the math. It'll be 30 questions on each section. It'll take about an hour per section. The PERT is a really interesting test because what it does is it adjusts based on whether you think the answer's right or wrong. So sometimes a student will come out and be like, oh my gosh, that was so easy. And my heart usually drops a little bit when they say that was really easy, because what that might mean is that they were getting some answers wrong, and so the test was getting easier. And instead of asking them about radicals and factoring and slope and line intercepts, it was bringing them to like how to add fractions and things like that. So the test will change based on what you're getting right and what you're getting wrong. So that's just something to keep in mind. Any other questions? Yes?
Do they have to sit for all sections at the same time when they write out?
I believe they have to sit for all sections at the same time. Now, at PHSC, what we'll do is you can start with the reading. The way you do it is the reading, the writing, and the math. You can take a section and then we put it on hold. Now, the high schools don't do that. So if you take it at the high school, you have to just take it. At PHSC, you can put it on hold, but you have to finish it within 7 days or the test closes itself out. Jim? Oh, great. There is no cost for the PERT for students to take it the first time.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ms. Roberts. For those of you that do not know, I'm one of the school counselors here at Kirkland Ranch. I am school counselor over different programs: cybersecurity, robotics and engineering, biomedical, and electricity. So if your students are in any of those programs, I would be your contact for your school counselor. Ms. Rodriguez handled our dual enrollment information. Thank you. And now we're going to touch on advanced placement, which you may also know as AP classes. So advanced placement, or AP courses, are college-level courses offered in high school. We just talked about dual enrollment. Those are college-level courses offered in high school. So what's the difference, right? So we're going to go over some of the differences between advanced placement and and dual enrollment. Both are great options. We offer both of them, so we want to make sure that we give you all of the necessary information. One of the main differences between advanced placement and dual enrollment is with dual enrollment, you're going to get a college credit or a college grade that's going to affect your GPA no matter what. With advanced placement, you're only going to get that college credit depending on the exam at the end, if you pass the exam. So that's one of the major differences. Okay? The AP exams are scored, as it says, on a scale of 1 to 5, and many U.S. colleges grant credit and/or advanced placement for scores of 3 or above. So 3, 4, or 5. The ones in the 2s, they don't count against you. You could have got an A in the class. You're still going to get that A towards your high school GPA. You're just not going to get the college credit if you didn't pass the AP exam at the end. Some different benefits of taking AP courses. Students develop confidence and learn study habits and time management skills that are essential for success in college. As Ms. Rodriguez said, the College Success Skills Study Lab can help you with those as well if you're in dual enrollment classes. Also, AP courses can help you save time and money in college if you complete the AP classes and you pass the AP exam. Students who take AP courses demonstrate to colleges that they are serious about their coursework and the rigor of their coursework. One of the main things colleges are going to look at on your applications are, did you take those easy classes, or did you challenge yourself and take those harder classes? AP and college admission. So colleges rank grades in college prep courses, which is considered AP, and the strength of your curriculum, which as I just said, is considered the rigor of your schedule. Those are the top 2 decisions that they look at in deciding if you're going to get into their class. So if Ms. Towers and I were applying to the same college, we have the same GPA, we both were in student government, and maybe we both had a job. What's going to make the difference between us? If my application says biology, algebra, the requirements, and then psychology and pickleball, like Ms. Rodriguez said, but Ms. Sauer's schedule shows AP biology and AP psychology, maybe a dual enrollment math. We're in the same clubs, we have the same GPA, but she's showing strength and rigor on her schedule, which means she's proving that she wants to be accepted, she wants to be that stronger student. So what we need from all of you guys is to be showing that you want to stand out, you want to be that stronger student.
Hi, good evening. Like she said, I'm Ms. Sowers, and we are broken up between different programs. So I do have patient care, well-being, digital media, construction, and auto. So if any of your students are in those programs, then I will be their school counselor. All right, so for AP classes, I'm sure you want to know what an AP class is like. Kind of like she was talking about for dual enrollment, they are those more advanced classes. So classes tend to be more fast-paced and cover more material than those regular or honors classes. Like she was mentioning with dual enrollment, more time is spent outside of the classroom with studying and doing homework, working on those lessons and assignments. As well as AP teachers do expect their students to think more critically, analyze, be more competitive in their with their perspectives and things like that. Thanks, look at you. All right, so with AP classes, like Ms. Roberts did say, unlike the dual enrollment, to get college credit, you are going to need to pass the AP exam. AP exams are administered by schools worldwide on set dates in May. So exams usually last around 3 hours, kind of like she was talking about with the PERT. It lasts those few hours there. It does contain multiple choice questions, free response questions like essays, problem solving, and oral responses. Each university publishes their AP exam score requirements to receive college credits. All right, AP courses and college graduation. So students who take AP courses and exams are much more likely than their peers to complete a college degree on time. So like we were talking about going through, like getting classes done for your AA, things like that, you can finish quicker. Only 1 in 4 students who enter college complete a bachelor's degree in 4 years. A recent study showed that students taking AP courses and exams are much more likely to earn a college degree in 4 years. For example, AP English literature students had 4-year college graduation rates that were 62% higher than students that had not taken AP English literature. Alright, AP and college success. A recent study shows that students who earned a 3, 4, or 5 on the AP exam had a higher first-year college college grade point average and were more likely to return to the second year of college than non-AP students of similar abilities. So those AP classes are really teaching students to work harder, challenge themselves, put in the time and the effort that it takes to complete those college courses. And a quote here from the Dean of Admissions and Financial Aid at Harvard University is one of the best standard predictors of academic success at Harvard is performance on advanced placement examinations. That's it. Alright. So is there any questions that you guys have for either of us on AP courses, or exams? So unlike dual enrollment, there isn't a test that they have to take to get into AP classes. It would be something that you would talk about as a group with us and you guys, the teachers, to see if it's something that the teachers and us, parents, adults, that we feel that that's something that they're ready for. Yes.
So if you take the English literature, we
So if you pass the AP exam, then you would get college credit, yes. If not, then you would still get the high school credit. Yes.
How do you know what courses are AP courses? What's the offering?
For Kirkland, for the AP classes, you will get the course selection form tomorrow. We'll be handing those out. Yes.
Have you guys determined what you will do with their let's say, competition school enrollment process here, like outside the how you're
So we would place that on their schedule if they were going to be in a DE class like off campus, then we would just put that on their schedule and they would be able to leave.
One thing that I just wanted to kind of give as a tip or a hint or whatever. If your student is contemplating leaving the state to go to a university, AP will probably tend to transfer a little bit better because AP is an international organization. PHSC is a state or as a state college. So we kind of work within the state university system, and therefore our things transfer very well to USF, UF, FSU, University of North Florida, those types of things. But let's say you want to go to, Penn State or something like that, then AP might be the way to go. It would certainly be worthwhile to contact somebody in admissions at whatever. If you really have a specific university that you're looking at, talk to that university and find out, will they accept state college credit, or would they prefer the AP credit? Because since AP is international, it's pretty much accepted at most universities across the United States.
And then I just want to touch on a couple questions that were asked earlier. We are aiming to have the Comp 1 and Comp 2, the ENC 1101 and 1102 on campus next year. We're also aiming to have college algebra. Those options are going to be listed on your course selection sheets that your students are going to receive tomorrow. We won't be able to confirm those classes until summertime.
So have to come in and have a master's in order to teach that. So when we will get more applications, those will be at a grade level. So once I know what they have for their certifications, then we'll know the offering and that we can actually go on. But we are putting it out because we want the interest so that we can plan accordingly. But if for some reason we can't, we will be in personal contact with all those students.
And then the question about taking the PERT test at another high school, I've gotten that from a couple different parents. I have a meeting next week with the college and career specialist, so if you guys would give me some time to ask them that question and the procedures that they would want us to take if they're gonna allow our students to do that, then I can have those answers for you.
So I kind of have that answer too.
Okay.
So as of right now, they can go back to their home school and take it, is what we're being told, because we are still in the process of getting that up and running in our school. They need to reach out to your home school.
Are there any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Is the earliest the freshman can take an AP course, then is that the summer or the fall?
If it's going to be on their schedule, it would be in the fall. All students have the option to take online classes. If they choose to take an online class over the summer, they have that option. Yeah. Anybody else? All right, well, we're pretty much right on the dot at 7:30. Thank you all for coming.